Hi everyone. As I start my first YouTube video, I thought it would be appropriate to share with you my story about changing careers, writing a book, and the leap of faith and courage it took to ditch my day job at the age of 57, and the lessons I learned along the way. I recently quit my 30-year corporate career as a medical director in the pharmaceutical industry with a plan to write a book. And I did just that. I wrote a book in 1 week, and in February 2024, this year, I launched my book, and it has gone on to become an Amazon bestseller. And I've also launched a business to help others by offering corporate leadership programs and speaking engagements. My name is Paula Fenwick, and I'm the author of the #1 Amazon bestseller. Have I said that enough? I'm very proud of that. Bounce Back Fast, 5 Practical Steps to Resilience. And this is the story of my overnight success in 10 years and my journey of finding my voice and stepping up and being seen. Let's start at the beginning. I was born and raised in South Africa, a place that really shaped who I am today, especially growing up during the apartheid era. I graduated as a pharmacist and I started my first major role at Pfizer, the pharmaceutical company that we all now know about. I climbed up the corporate ladder quite fast, landing my first management role at the age of 28. And I now have over 30 years of experience in the pharmaceutical industry. Looking back on my career, I realized the significant shifts I've undergone over time. There was a time when my entire identity seemed wrapped up in my corporate successes. But then the realization that my daughters were my priority and that I needed to be there for them was a major turning point for me. I felt that I needed to be physically present for them as well as being emotionally and mentally available, especially guiding them through their teenage years with the values that I hold close to my heart. In hindsight, every transition in and out of the corporate pharmaceutical world provided me with valuable skills for my professional development. Interestingly, my last role as medical director perfectly aligned with the career aspirations I had at the start of my career. By staying true to my values and prioritizing my children, I not only achieved my career objectives, but I also deepened my connection with my family. My road to resilience started when the end of my marriage hit me like a ton of bricks. Going through the divorce made me question my whole existence, and so started my conscious journey of self-discovery. I realized that I needed to work out who I am. I knew who I had become, but I didn't know who I was, and I knew that I had to take ownership of myself, all of me. Through the emotional chaos of the divorce, I found solace in my mindfulness practice, journaling, and then sitting in reflection, which I now call my awareness triad. I have found that these tools are the secret sauce to the Sunday of life. Mindfulness, journaling, and reflection are hands down the most powerful tools to shift stuff, to shift and work through life's challenges, the big whoppers, as well as the everyday irritations. By noticing my thoughts and emotions, I got better and better at identifying my emotional triggers. Over time, I felt that I was making much better choices, and I wasn't at the mercy of my fleeting emotions. I became much calmer because I got better at noticing my stress response and not reacting to it. This really helped in the workplace, particularly when there were some difficult conversations. So, what happened 10 years ago? Our life choices and work are an extension of who we are. Our life purpose, our passion, our values, our strengths, and our interests. As a coach, I knew the importance of connecting to that inner why and aligning with my values. They have been my compass and my guide for all my important life decisions. So raising my girls was a major priority in my life. And in 2013, I left UCB, another multinational pharmaceutical company, to start my own leadership coaching business, while still consulting on the various medical marketing projects back into the pharmaceutical industry. At that time, I had a dream. I felt that I needed to share all the lessons and skills I had learned. I wanted to be an author and a motivational speaker, so I put it out there to the universe. I wrote up what I wanted to be, what I wanted to do, and what I would have, and put it all on my dream board. So back in 2013, I wrote a 30-page workbook that I used as a resource for my coaching clients. This was my first real attempt at being an author. I called it my survival guide, and it had 5 signposts to build resilience. My mission and vision for this little workbook was the same as they are now: to help people get through the tough times and live a fulfilling life. My first little workbook had a lot of very good advice, but it kind of read a little bit more like a textbook. At the time, I was a single mother with 2 teenage girls, and I had neither the finances nor the headspace to build my coaching business from my dream board and into reality. So I had to park my dream of becoming an author. But nothing gets lost in the world of time and experience. I've learned so much, and all of it has made a difference now as I launch my book and my new business. Over the years, I have continued to work on myself. Personal growth is an ongoing journey. I worked with and refined my resilience tools. I attended workshops like the path retreats that I describe in Bounce Back Fast. And I researched and studied a lot in the resilience space, trying out and testing the different strategies and modalities. Trying to get my coaching business off the ground was not easy or straightforward, and I had to keep a roof over our heads. It seemed so much easier to fall back into my medical marketing work, which was lucrative, and eventually it was easier to go back into the corporate job and that I really loved. Part of me went back into the pharmaceutical industry for financial security, but I also missed the team environment. But part of me also knew that I was parking my dream, putting my purpose on hold. Back in corporate pharma, I was putting all my resilience skills into practice. And as a leader, I was also coaching those that reported into me and supporting other colleagues. I was happy, actually really happy, until I started to need more. I felt that internal tug. You may know what it's like. It's interesting how the circumstances in life and work change when we are ready to change. When we look back at some of our big life and career moves, there are often changes in our environment. Our alignment with people and situations and values change. At the beginning of 2023, I realized that I needed to make a change, not quite knowing how the future was going to look like for me. And then the craziest thing happened to me. In February last year, 2023, I received a LinkedIn message from an amazing leadership coach I had heard speak at a women's leadership summit a few months prior. I found it quite strange as I didn't know her from a bar of soap. Nevertheless, I decided to meet with her for coffee. Once we had established that this was a random meeting and that she had actually made a mistake, she asked me why I'd come. And I replied that it was so random that I couldn't say no. And in fact, I was intrigued at what the universe had in store for me. There was a moment's silence, and then I asked her to tell me about her book, as she's an established author. And she told me how she'd written her book in 1 week. I was amazed. I told her how I wanted to write a book, and it had been my dream for the last 10 years. She told me about her journey as an author and passed on the details for the publisher, Dave Thompson, and the inspirational book writers. I was so excited, and I felt so real and deep urge to follow this up. I signed up for their book writing intensive week at the beginning of June 2023. But there was a catch. I was still employed and scheduled to go to a medical conference in Chicago over that exact same week. the internal personal strength that caused was huge. It was really huge. And I got so sick. That internal tussle between following my dream and living my purpose, and that age-old nugget of financial security was so hard for me. If I was to write my book, I had to resign before going to Chicago. But how could I resign? I didn't even have a job to go to. I also knew that I didn't want to go to another farmer job because it wasn't about that. What was on the line was a secure job versus my purpose. This was a major decision. If I left my job, I felt that it would just be financial suicide. And I would also be abandoning the amazing people that were reporting into me. Now you can see why I got so sick. Well, in the end, I went to Chicago, high fevers and powered by painkillers. And, so the fear of financial disaster was all too consuming. It was as simple as that. That's all I could focus on. Having missed out on the June book intensive writing week, I signed up for the October week and put my leave application straight away. I was going to do this. I was going to write my book in October. And this is when the universe got creative. I'm sure you will have heard the famous saying, change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. Well, so the universe turned up the heat and things got tougher and tougher for me. At one of my low points, a friend suggested I read the book The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. The universe turns up the heat, but it also shows us the way through the fire. I really connected to the message in that book, and it gave me the courage and faith to take the plunge, to leave my 30-year career in pharma and align myself with my purpose, my values, my strengths, and above all, my vision. I was leaving behind a 30-year career in a sandpit where I knew the rules. I was leaving my comfort zone and the people that meant so much to me. And through that, all I could see was the loss. I had to clear all my fears around financial security to make this bold step. I had to trust in my own worth. And that was a big one. That I could do this and that I was ready to do this. I had to make this life choice based on my purpose and my values. I had to honor all of me. And it was time to step up. It was time to be me. This major decision came from within me. It came from a place of personal strength. But it also came a place of knowing that my family have my back always. It came of a place of knowing that I'm loved and that I love them so much. They are my rock, and it is my responsibility to be the best version of me, to honor myself and to honor their love. So I left my job, my 30-year career, on Friday the 13th of October, and I started writing my book on Monday, the very next Monday, on the 16th of October. It had taken me 10 years to get to this point. So writing a book in 1 week is possible. I'm testament to that. But it is only possible with the expert coaching we got from Dave Thompson and his team. Bounce Back Fast came through my heart. And over the course of the week, I lived all aspects of my book. Going into the book writing week, I knew what tools I wanted to include. I had been thinking about this for 10 years. Trust me, I knew what was going in. And as it turned out, writing my book was the easy part. Bringing it out into the world, well, that was a whole different ballgame. I had spent the last 30 years launching multi-million-dollar products, and the experience didn't go to waste. I had a business plan, a book launch plan, complete with marketing strategies and tactics. I'd put all my experiences into launching this book. And I'd launched medicines, but I'd never launched a book. And for that, I had the expertise and of the publisher and all their resources. I must say, there is no ways that I could have achieved Amazon #1 bestseller without them. I had all the experience and resources, and I'm really good at committing to a plan and delivering. But, and this is a big but, I still had to do some work on myself in order to be ready to bring this book to the world. Growth is incremental, and I've noticed that I've learned the same lesson over and over again, and each time I've gone into an even deeper understanding of who I am and cleared more and more of my fears. I thought that by writing the book, I was putting myself out there, and that, at the end of the book writing work, that's exactly how I felt. As I brought the book out into the world, I had to continue to put myself out there over and over again. Over the course of the 4 months that it took me to launch this book, mindset has been my biggest challenge. Putting myself on social media was a big thing for me. Vulnerability did not come easy. My news feed was full of people selling stuff. Coaches are dime a dozen, and everyone is flogging something, with the buy and be now specials. They don't come across as authentic. I did not want to be like them. I did not want to be seen to be like them. I felt like I was selling myself. Marketing myself online has been very difficult for me. It just isn't me. It hasn't felt real, authentic, or me, even though everything I've put out of there so far has been from the heart. Being on social media brought up so many old fears of judgment, old beliefs of not being good enough. I noticed the constant role of the negative self-talk in my head and in my conversations. I kept on telling everyone how I hated being on Facebook. On the one hand, I'm using Facebook. On the other hand, I'm trying to justify why I really hated. I had built this beautiful, humongous, negative cloud around me called Facebook, and everything I hated about it. But in reality, it all boiled down to fear. The fear of being seen. Publishing and launching the book has been an exercise in resilience. I have lived all 5 steps in the book over and over again. I have said that these tools and strategies I present have been tried and tested, and I promise you, they have. They have certainly been an integral part of my journey to launch this book. Following these steps has certainly helped me bounce back again and again and get me to this point where I'm totally comfortable with sharing my story with you. Originally, I had used Marianne Williamson's poem, Our Deepest Fear, which was also used by Nelson Mandela in his inaugural speech as the last poem in my book. But when I was going through the editing process, I was inspired to write my own poem, Don't Be Afraid to Shine. I wrote this poem for the reader as my parting message. But I now know that part of me, my higher self, wrote this poem for me too. That message was for me too. Don't be afraid to shine. So on Saturday, the 24th of February, 2024, Bounce Back Fast went live on Amazon. I was so truly humbled by the support I received from everyone, friends and family in Australia, old school friends and uni friends in South Africa, and others scattered around the world, and also my family in Portugal. This showed me the value of community, my tribe. Bounce Back Fast is from my heart to yours. And I hope that these tools will help you meet life's challenges and make a difference in your world. I hope that when things are tough, that you remember this book, that you come back to it, that you sit with it and open the book to a page, any page, and read it with your heart. You are here to bring your love and passion to this world in your unique way, and in a way that only you can. You are here to clear all your fears and insecurities in your life so that you can be free, to be you. I'm sharing with you the gems that I've learned on my personal journey so that you can tackle life's challenges. It is not a storybook. There's no need to read it all in one go. This book is meant to inspire you to look within, to go deep within and get to know who you are. It's my wish that to really help and connect to your compass and to make the choices that are aligned with your values. And along the way, I suggest that you connect to your tribe, those people who support you on your journey, as so many of you have supported me on mine. When you feel that you're struggling, turn into your mindset. What are you telling yourself? And make a conscious effort to reframe your beliefs, self-talk, and most importantly, your internal language. Words have power. Use them wisely. And at the end of the day, I encourage you to embrace change because that is the only way forward. Over the last 10 years, I sat with this book in my heart, and it has taken me 10 years to grow into my vision. Living from the heart requires us to be aligned with our actions and our deepest values and passions and truths. And it requires courage to pursue our unique path, even when it moves away from possibly the expected or the conventional. Through my experiences, I've discovered that decisions made from the heart are not only lead to success, but they cultivate a deep sense of fulfillment and authenticity. I've realized my goal of becoming an author. My book, Bounce Back Fast, reached #1 Amazon bestseller rank in 6 categories at launch. That was my goal, and I reached it. I have made tough choices, embraced the unknown, and stepped away from a successful career. I'm now living an even more fulfilling life, one rich with purpose and meaningful impact by living through my values and strengths and purpose. No matter how big or small your dream may be, if your heart has to be in it and believe that life circumstances will take you there. It has been my pleasure to share with you my passion and my story. And the time for a better life is now. And if not now, well, when? I'm here for you. If you have any questions or need advice, you can reach me, Paula at paulafenwick.com. Visit my website for more details on the programs that I offer, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're looking for regular resilience gems and tools and strategies to help you bounce back fast from life's challenges. You can always follow me on social media, Facebook and LinkedIn. Please share your successes and your stories with me in the comments and make sure you tag me. I am here for you. Cheers for now.